So today we are privileged and delighted to have Shri Dr. Rajendra Kumar IAS. He is a senior IAS officer working as Additional Secretary in MeitY, Government of India. Earlier he was also the Chairman and Managing Director of ELCOT Tamil Nadu. As CMD of ELCOT, he led the ICT infrastructure, e-governance, ICT procurement and IT industry promotion activities within the state. Earlier, he has also served as a Joint Secretary of E-Governance in MeitY, Government of India. He has led the country to enter Digital India, e-governance and technology development for Indian language initiatives at the national level, and he has been responsible for the overall conceptualization and the implementation of the flagship Digital India program and the National E-Governance Plan of the Government of India. These include the new Digital Locker initiative that was aimed at providing a private space on a public cloud to all the residents of the country for storing and sharing government-issued documents, the new Mobile Seva project, which aimed at bringing all government services on the mobile platform, ePraman, for electronic authentication of all users of e-governance services, and localization aimed at promoting the usage of Indian languages in e-governance and mobile-based services. Prior to this stint in Government of India, he held senior positions in district administration and state government in Tamil Nadu in India. Dr. Rajendra Kumar has received a number of academic and professional awards at the national and international levels during his career. He has received the UN Public Service Award in 2014 for the Mobile Seva project, which was conceptualized and implemented by him. Dr. Rajendra Kumar also holds a PhD in International Economic Development and Regional Planning and an MCP from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, an MTech in Management and Systems from the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and a BTech in Civil Engineering from IIT Kanpur. He has published a book and several articles in international journals. I request you, sir, to address the audience and inaugurate the conference.
The huge efforts. We have very active schemes in domains like AI, for example. In blockchain, we just published the national strategy just last month. And we think that that can be a future growth area for not only the application that we are currently familiar with, which can be done through blockchain, for example, cryptos and all that. That's of course one area where policy have to emerge. But in domains like land records, registration, certificate management, in all these, blockchain can play a very big role, and it can generate trust in the people about how they deal with the digital interfaces. So once you know that your transactions are secure, your documents are secure, who is accessing those documents, you would be able to know. So all trust-based systems, they are going to be the growth area of the future. And this, we think, can really play a big role in further advancing the entire e-governance and digital governance interface with the citizens and businesses, and help us in unlocking greater value in the years to come. Another area where we think we can play a big role is in putting a sound legal framework in place for the entire digital domain. As we're all aware, IT Act is now 21 years old, and even with amendments in 2008 and subsequent rules, still we need to really think of how the very fast expanding digital space can be regulated through this present act, or whether we need a new framework with the new elements brought in based on international experience and best practices. So that's one area where currently we are putting our efforts as to how we can really improve our legal framework for dealing with the fast evolving digital domain. One more area in this regard is the personal data protection, which I'm sure you would have heard that we have brought a bill which is now in the parliament, which actually brings in a totally new legal framework for personal data handling. So how your data is being collected, how it is being shared, how it will be used, who will have access, for how long it can be stored. So all that now will be within this legal framework, where citizens will have greater information and they will have greater control on how their data is being used. This is again in line with the best practice internationally, where these laws are in effect in almost in most of the countries. And we hope that by bringing this law, we would be able to really ensure that our industry and our government departments they handle citizens' data responsibly and within that legal framework. That again will help in generating trust among the citizens and bring more users on the online platform, because they will feel that their data will be safely stored, it will be secure, and it will be used only for lawful legal purposes. So that's the goal. This will also help the industry in really getting more users. That's one, getting more business from abroad, because India would be viewed as a nation having data adequacy norms in place, which now many countries are seeing when they outsource business from their industries or their countries to business entities in India. So that's another major area where we think that MeitY can play a big role, and we can really enable the digital economy to grow. As you're aware, because of the pandemic, we have seen huge adverse impacts on the economy, on the personal front, on the livelihood fronts. Hopefully, in the time to come, that the pandemic will be behind us. But still, as a result of the pandemic, what we have seen is that there is a huge offtake, there is a huge adoption of digital by new entities and even existing ones. They are adopting digital in much greater, much bigger fashion. So we are now all used to work from home and using our devices for accessing services, talking to people, attending events, conferences, doing official work. So all this higher level adoption is going to stay with us in the time to come, we hope, as a new normal of our way of life, our way of work. And this is going to put greater demands on MeitY and the government as a whole to create the appropriate level of digital infra, to create applications so that people can really access the applications and they can work easily with the digital tools. And that means that we need to be prepared that much more to really be able to address these challenges. This will also throw up new avenues of concerns, for example, cybersecurity, because now people accessing all kinds of applications from non-secured, non-office environment from home. So that brings that much more challenges towards ensuring that their devices are safely operated, they are secured from cybersecurity point of view. So all that effort is going to really now become more important, and I am sure that with MeitY's experience and the experienced teams that we have in MeitY, in MeitY's organization like CCA, which works very deeply in the PKIA infrastructure and also in ensuring that our entire CA ecosystem works efficiently. They all need to play that much bigger role in the time to come to ensure that we can meet these emerging challenges of cybersecurity, emerging challenges of much greater access by more people in the country, much greater levels of use of the digital infra. They also need to get expanded. And for this, we need to think of a whole of government approach involving not just MeitY, but also other departments where we can address these challenges holistically and think of commonalities in how we can synergize our own efforts and derive greater outcomes, greater results from the schemes and programs that we are implementing. So that's the challenge where I think we all need to be aware of, and then we need to work with greater zeal, greater enthusiasm, with more focus on how we are implementing our programs and how we really want to take it to the next level, which I outlined in terms of the vision that we have of reaching at least $1 trillion in terms of digital economy value addition to our GDP in the next 5 years. I'm sure that the events in today's schedule, that those will be very useful and informative to all the participants. I'm sure the experts, they can talk much more about the technical issues and other aspects of PKI infra and how our CS systems can be improved more. One area where we have asked our team in CCA to work is in terms of ensuring the next level of PKI infrastructure, also in terms of web trust compliance of our CCA ecosystem. So these are important because so far we have not really succeeded from the CCA side in achieving that full compliance with the web trust framework. But our CAs, they are now making greater efforts, Some have succeeded in obtaining full compliance, and that is going to help the country in a big way in terms of not only saving foreign exchange, but also ensuring that our own infra is trusted across the entire world. So the moment we reach that level of maturity in terms of the infra that we have for our CA ecosystem, that brings us that much dividend in terms of generating greater confidence by international community in what India is doing. So that's the advantage that we really want to build upon. And I'm sure that the events that are lined up today will help in really advancing the cause of Digital India more, and also ensuring that we are seen to be the leaders internationally in not only this domain, but also in all activities that we are doing under this broad program of Digital India. Thank you so much.